If you're just joining us, you're on to Strictly Politics, where we talk nothing but politics. It's been 5 years since His Excellency Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, the executive governor of Delta State, took over the mantle of leadership in that state. And today on Strictly Politics, we will be featuring the senior special assistant to the governor on special duties, Prince Olatunji OLUSOJI. I'll be talking politics in Delta and, of course, beyond Delta State. But for now, let us take you around the world politically on our segment called Political. Prince Olatunji OLUSOJI, Senior Special Assistant on Special Duties to the Governor of Delta State, His Excellency Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, is our guest today on Strictly Politics. It's a pleasure to have you, Prince Olatunji OLUSOJI.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, good. His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, spent 5 years so far steering the ship in Delta State. How would you rate him?
Yeah, in the last 5 years, I would say the governor has done very well. The governor is a man who has a vast knowledge of the state, someone who grew from the ranks. He was commissioner in 1999. He was commissioner again, commissioner for Agric and Natural Resources in 1999, commissioner for Health in 2003. From there, he went to the Senate, and before he came back to run for governorship. So you agree with me that he's somebody who prepared himself for this position. He prepared himself for leadership. So with all this CV put together, you agree with me that the governor is doing well and has done well in the last 5 years in areas of job creation, the STEP program, the GEP program, whereby the state government is training youths on different vocations, like some are into agriculture, poultry farming, fishery, and what have you. Some are into tailoring, and some are into weaving and fabrication, some are into catering, and so many other things the governor has set up in the last 5 years. And this has increased the rate of the jobs that the young people have gotten in the state so far. And the governor did not just stop there in training these youths. Startup packs were given to many of them at the end of the training to set up their own businesses, because the governor knows the challenge of setting small-scale businesses these days. So after the training, they are given starters pack to go and start their own life. So in terms of job creation, I'll say the governor has done well. And in terms of security also, you agree with me that major development cannot take place when there's no peace in the environment. And the governor, being someone who is from the grassroots, who knows the nook and crannies of the state, strive his best so much in the area of peace and security, whereby he collaborated with traditional rulers and top security agencies, making sure that our people are safe at every given point in time. We have to avoid, the dynamic nature of our people. We have diverse tribes and groups in the state, and he has tried his best to manage everyone, to forestall any communal clash or what have you. Then in terms of infrastructure, you agree with me that they've named him the road master. He has constructed roads in several areas in the state, even in the riverine areas where there were no roads before, or where there were existing roads that have gone bad. The governor has gone there to fix those roads. And that is why they could name him the road master. There's no community in Delta State as of today, I would say the governor has not felt the governor's presence by having 1 or 2 roads constructed in their communities.
So will you say that the stronger Delta mandate of the governor is getting to a state of reality?
Very well, that's true. He's getting to a state of reality because the governor is a very meticulous person. He's taking his time, one after the other, to touch every area so that at the end of the day, the stronger Delta agenda will be fully realized. You can agree with me also, the Asaba Stadium is something to be reckoned with. It's a world-class stadium today. You can see for the past how many matches the Super Eagles have played. in the last how many months. All the matches have been played in the Asaba International Stadium, and you will give credit to the governor. If you go there today, you agree with me that it's a world-class stadium that you can compare with other stadiums around the world. So we are actualizing the stronger Delta mantra.
Well, all seems not to be well with your political party, particularly between the party's local government chairman, Ferom, and the state chairman, Olorogun Kingsley Esiso, as alleged to have foisted leadership on them, which has led to actional leadership in the state's Algon. And according to some analysts, the Delta political vanguard is responsible for this. Do you want to comment on this?
In politics, crisis is something that's always part of politics. People must disagree. People's Democratic Party in Delta State is a very big family, and it is not unusual for crisis to be once in a while in a big family like this. I will not want to deny that there's no rancor, but I want to assure you that it's one of those things. It's politics. At the end of the day, everybody will come together and they will get to a resolution and put all this to an end. It's a normal thing. People must disagree to agree. But the most important thing is that we are one big family, and when the time comes, the leadership of the party will put this house together and they will settle all the grievances, and all aggrieved party will be happy at the end of the day. That's what I want to assure you. PDP in Delta State is one big family, and there's nothing that is going to tear that family apart. In the media, the way the story is being perceived in the media, it is not the way things are on ground. So I want to assure you that it's a very minor issue, and at the appropriate time, the leadership of the party will bring a final resolution to all these gray areas.
Well, regarding opening up of states, the president has more or less passed the buck to the state governors who are CEOs in their various states to open up their states. What exactly is the Delta State governor doing regarding opening up Delta State?
You agree with me that initially we had a total lockdown, and from there it was relaxed. After a month, it was relaxed to only the borders being locked down, from preventing people from invading our state who we don't know their head status. I can confirm to you now that the governor is working around the clock with the NCDC officials and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 to see how possible we can achieve that mandate of opening the state totally for people to come in freely. And I want to assure you that we'll continue to adhere to all the NCDC protocols and the Presidential Task Force protocols involved in the fight against COVID-19. So the governor is handling that, and in a couple of days, I think they will come to a compromise.
Well, even though you rated the governor highly regarding security, but then security still seems to be a big challenge in Delta State. A few weeks ago, 5 journalists were detained at the NUJ Center, and recently some gunmen kidnapped 4 persons near Agbo. These are just some of the incidences regarding security, or better still, insecurity in your state. What factors will you say are responsible, rather, for the increasing insecurity in Delta State?
Regarding the 5 journalists you said were detained, I think misinformation and a crack it was a reason for that. It was not really a serious issue, but at the end of the day, we thank God that that is past now. And the issue of kidnapping you talked about, kidnapping is we all know today is a very lucrative business to the people who are involved in it. It's not peculiar with our state alone, Delta. Kidnapping is across the nation. It's everywhere across the nation. But we will not say because of one issue of kidnapping across the state, then there's no peace, or the security is, in Delta State is not doing its best. We are trying our best in the midst of, crime is part of every society. You cannot rule out that fact. Even in developed countries, crime is part of them. So we were still trying our best, and the governor is trying his best with other security agencies and what have you, curb all these menaces so that our people will live freely without fear of intimidation from anyone.
Okay, still on security in Delta State, the government recently inaugurated Operation Delta Hawk to tackle the rising insecurity, including the farmers' Elders crisis. Is it yielding some fruits?
Yes, over time, we have so far cases of herders attacking the locals communities. The farmers will curtail this menace for a very long time. And I think what the governor has done is the right step in the right direction. We have taken our destiny in our own hands to set up the Operation Delta Hawk to curb this menace of herders killing our farmers on a daily basis. I can tell you that it is yielding some fruit because the Operation Delta Hawk will be working with other security agencies and the vigilante groups in various communities. And one thing we have to know is that information is power. When we get information on these activities, that is when we can deal with such issues. That is why we pay keen interest to intelligence gathering, because it's very, very important in the fight against these herders and people who come to destroy crops and kill our people unjustly. So I will tell you, it's using fruit, and talks are going on between the Delta State government and so many other groups, so that at the end of the day, the objective of setting this Operation Delta Hawks will not be defeated at the end of the day.
Prince Olatunji OLUSOJI, Senior Special Assistant on Special Duties to the Governor of Delta State, is our guest on Strictly Politics, where we've been talking nothing but politics. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, the program continues in just a moment. It's a pleasure to have you back on Strictly Politics, where we talk nothing but politics. Prince Olatunji OLUSOJI, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Delta State, is still our guest. Prince Olatunji, well, let's talk about the autonomy recently given to, or granted rather, to the judiciary and, of course, the legislature. What exactly is the Delta State government doing to make this a reality in Delta State?
What I can say categorically now is that this autonomy is not an issue of one singular state alone. Before now, there have been talks between the Nigerian Governors Forum and the Conference of Speakers of State House of Assembly concerning the autonomy of for legislators and judiciary. And I think that talk process is still on before the president came forward to sign in this autonomy, the Executive Order 10. But be it as it may, the talks is still ongoing, so I cannot categorically tell you that one state or any other state is doing something in that respect until they all come to a compromise, because it's a national issue. It's not peculiar with Delta State alone. So talks are ongoing, there are negotiations, and at the end of the day, I think they will come up with something that will.
Well, I know you're from Kogi State. Do you have plans to go back to your state to perhaps run for some political position?
Like I always tell people, that my political future depends on God. Because one thing I believe, and one thing I always tell people, that power belongs to God and power comes from God. You don't just come out and say you want to be this and you want to be that. God does not, if it does not please God, there's nothing you can do. The future is still bright, so I'm counting on God. We are looking at our people, because in politics, I believe one thing too, leadership is all about your people too. No matter the political office you're occupying today, if you don't carry your people along, then you don't know what you are doing. Politics to me is all about service to your people in any capacity you fall into. So I'll continue to study the terrain and hope on God to see what the future has for me politically. And in Nigeria, you cannot rule out the factor of leadership in political positions. Okay. So I'll continue to look on God and continue to look at our leaders to see what the future will have for me. that does not rule out the fact that the ambition is not there. It is there, but you must study the terrain properly. You must do your own work, and above all, place God first before any other thing.
Okay, Senior Special Assistant on Special Duties to the Governor of Delta State, His Excellency Senator Okowa, Prince Olatunji OLUSOJI has been our guest on Strictly Politics. And for the past 20 minutes or more, we've been talking nothing other than politics. Prince OLUSOJI, thank you so much for being our guest on our program.
Thank you for having me.